Hello and welcome to PCMag Live. I'm Dan Costa. He is Sasha Segan, and we've got a great show for you today. We're going to answer some of your reader questions. We're going to talk about the top tech news of the day, and there's a lot today. And then we're going to go down to the Intel Experience Store and check out one cool thing that's on the shelf down there for cool gear. First of all, I want to tell you that our show today is brought to you by Intel, which invites you to check out its new pop-up Intel Experience Store in New York City.
And we did.
And we did. And Samara's down there right now. She'll come in at the end of the show. This unique, ever-changing environment provides an opportunity to get your hands on some of the latest Intel-based tablets and two-in-one devices. You can even test drive some of them at home for a 24-hour period, enabling you to truly try before you buy. You can catch the Intel Experience Store at 262 Mott Street until January 25th. For more information, you can go to intel.com/stores. On to news, big news day. This is actually news that broke Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock. The Wall Street Journal reports that Sprint is considering buying T-Mobile, which would create 3 carriers out of our current 4 in the United States. This is a huge, huge deal for the wireless industry, and you don't think it's a good one.
This is a huge, huge headache, and this would be a disaster. It would be a disaster for American consumers. It would be a short to medium-term disaster for Sprint. It would be a long-term disaster for T-Mobile. It's a horrible idea.
And to be fair, this is the exact same thing you said when AT&T was considering buying T-Mobile 2 years ago.
And we stopped it. Yes.
You personally stopped that acquisition.
Well, I was part of the movement,
yeah.
But yeah. So let's see. So AT&T said, "Oh, we have to buy T-Mobile because otherwise none of us can survive, and T-Mobile is not viable as an independent company, and blah 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 blah." Okay. So let's look. We killed that acquisition. Now T-Mobile is thriving. They're doing all their Un-carrier stuff. They're driving AT&T's prices down through competition, and they're gaining customers. None of that would have happened had that merger gone through. And a Sprint T-Mobile merger, it's not as hideous as AT&T or Verizon buying one of the smaller carriers, but there are all sorts of technology complexities involved. There is the elimination of competition. It just would not be good for anyone, once again, except shareholders.
Yeah, and also, I don't know how close they are to this deal. It's obviously a trial balloon. I think there's no way the government would support this.
Well, that's what's really going on. So what's really going on is that SoftBank just bought Sprint, and they have a lot more money. So SoftBank wants to know if it would be possible to buy T-Mobile. So they kind of floated the story in the Wall Street Journal to see how everybody reacts and what the regulatory environment would be. If we all come down like hammers, and it sounds like the FCC and the DOJ wouldn't allow this, then SoftBank isn't going to burn their money, isn't going to burn their time, and the whole idea will go away, at least until 2016. Yeah. That's what I'm aiming for.
I think that's what's going to happen. Also in the news this weekend, the Steam OS has dropped, and they sent 300 Steam boxes to 300 people, no media, just gamers who are going to prototype this new hardware device. I kind of wish that we had one. I wish that we had one. We're gonna build our own, but I wish we had one of the prototypes that got sent out.
Now, as a non-major gamer, I have to ask, what is so awesome? Like, why the Steam box? Why aren't you just playing a game on a PC? Like, what is so awesome about this?
It's a Linux-based gaming platform,
so,
which is supposed to be independent, which will play, and it can basically turn your PC into a console box. You can play all these games.
But PCs play great games. Like, PC gaming is great gaming. Why Steambox?
Why Steam? Why a separate PC? You want to just use your PC as your Steam box? That's basically what we're going to wind up doing. We haven't seen the specs on these new prototypes and seeing how they perform, but everybody who's into Steam and on the network is pretty excited this weekend. And you can start to see the actual test cases trickle out there. So pretty cool. We're going to have, we've got coverage of it on Geek and ET. We'll have some coverage on PCMag as well once we get our hands into the Steam OS and see how it works. Mm-hmm. Also in the news, this was a really interesting story. We've talked about Google's robot empire in the past. Andy Rubin was heading up this robot division, but we didn't know what exactly was going to be in it. Google just bought Boston Dynamics, which is one of our favorite companies. They build quadrupeds and robots for the military sector. Very, very cool stuff. And now they're part of Google.
It is safe to say we are way past don't be evil at this point, okay?
Because they have military contracts.
They
supply the military with, with these prototypes.
Yeah, we can't actually call them killer robots because the robots are not actually weaponized.
Yet.
But
Not yet.
But The robots do recon. The robots, I think these are also the kinds of robots that kind of sniff out landmines and step on them so humans don't step on them.
They're like they're almost like pack horses. There's one that there's a video of called the Cheetah, which can reach 29 miles per hour. And it's just sort of, it trots along, and they're amazing videos. The question is, what is Google going to do with these?
These are war robots. Google has war robots. Amazon has drones. Okay, we are seeing this happening right now. Build your bunker, get underground, wall off your systems. Okay, the virus will be coming to take over.
All right, we will obviously be staying on this story because it makes our jobs much, much more interesting. Let's move on to a reader question now. We got a question in by email from Gary. Gary wants to know, between the iPad Air and the iPad Mini, which is a better tablet for apps, video, and reading? Which is really just asking which is a better tablet, I think.
Not actually. So Gary's email was a little longer. He said he has a laptop that he does all of his productivity on, and being an e-reader is a big use for his tablet. And in that case, I would go towards the Mini.
Yeah, I'd go small.
Yeah, because the Air, I like the Air more overall. I like the Air more for most people. It's a better general purpose tablet, especially for productivity. But if it's something you carry around all the time and you're going to do a lot of e-reading, the Mini is just a better form factor. Otherwise, the two tablets are pretty much the same. But in this case, I think you want the physically smaller one.
And there's no performance gap. I mean, a lot of people think that the Mini is going to be appreciably slower or underpowered compared to the full-size iPad, but performance-wise...
Yeah, very slight performance gap. You don't even notice it. The primary question between these two devices is the physical size. And I think I usually recommend the big iPad, but in this case, the Mini is better for this purpose.
Very cool. Now, we usually go to One Cool Thing here. Today, for One Cool Thing, we sent Samara Lynn down to the Intel Experience Store to see what cool stuff are on those shelves. Check her out.
Yeah, so hi, thanks guys. Yes, I am at Intel's pop-up store here in New York City, and our One Cool Thing of the day is Intel's Core i5 powered Lenovo IdeaPad Yoga 2 Pro. Now, this is a convertible Ultrabook, and as you can see, it operates in a couple of modes. It operates as a laptop, and then you can take it and it flips 360 degrees into a tablet. You can also operate it in tent mode. And as you can see, the screen will reorient itself. And finally, you can operate it in stand mode. Now, what's really cool is that Lenovo has software built into this device that'll tell you, it'll recommend which apps should be run in which mode. A couple of other cool things. The display is higher than 1080p. The keyboard has a really nice backlight. It's backlit keyboard. It's got a USB 2.0 port and a USB 3.0 port. 802.11n wireless, the works. So come on down. It's at 262 Mott Street here in downtown Manhattan. And Intel also has stores in California and in a couple of other cities too. So you can check it out on the website. And back to you guys.
Thanks for that report, Samara. That has been PCMag Live. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have a brand new show for you. And thanks for tuning in.